George, thanks again for coming and sharing so openly about your time in the internment camps. I want to circle back to that for one reason. I'm here tonight because, very coincidentally, my 13-year-old son is doing his final project in school on the internment camps.
Ah.
So it was an opportunity for me to learn. He unfortunately suffered a bad injury last weekend, sprained his ankle, couldn't be here. So I'm here representing him. If you can, speak to what it was like when it was over, so to speak, when you, if I don't want to use the word re-assimilate, but when that was over, what that what that transition was like.
I was 8 years old when the war ended, and I was able to understand a bit more. Children are remarkably adaptable, and the abnormal situation of the camp, to me, became my normality while we were incarcerated. Everybody I knew lived the same way. We lined up 3 times a day, took these mass showers and all that. So that became our normality. It was after we were released that my brother and my sister and I were terrorized. Employment was well nigh impossible. Housing was even more difficult. My father's first job out of the internment camp was as a dishwasher in a Chinatown restaurant. Only other Asians would hire us, and in a very menial position. And our first home was on Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles. And that to us was terrifying. The stench of urine everywhere, on the sidewalk, in the hallways of the cheap hotel that we were in, and those scary, ugly, smelly people staggering about and falling down in front of us. It was terrifying. I went to school, and the teacher kept referring to me as the Jap boy, which stung. I mean, what had I done to this gray-haired old lady, And she never called on me when I raised my hand. And I knew that she hated me, and I hated her. I'll never forget her name, Mrs. Rugen. It's an ugly name, isn't it? Rugen. So for us as kids, it was very traumatic. For my parents, it was enormously difficult. My father was a block manager we were transferred from one camp to another, 2 camps, and he was elected block manager in both camps because he spoke both English and Japanese, so he was able to communicate with the older generation as well as the younger generation. And so he played something of a leadership role in camp. And when we came out of camp, particularly the Japanese-speaking older people, came to him for assistance in finding housing and jobs. So my father left that dishwasher job and opened up an employment office in Little Tokyo and assisted these people in finding jobs, which paid a pittance. They were janitors or gardeners or housekeepers, very low-paying jobs. And my mother made him quit that because, well, sometimes he didn't have the heart to collect his fee. And he opened up a cleaner shop about a half a year after we were released. And it was hard, long hours. I remember waking up to, we had an apartment behind the cleaner shop, and the sound of the steam press, thump, shh, thump, thump, shh, thump, was what I woke up to. And when we went to bed at night, I heard that same sound, thump, shh, thump. And my mother worked with them. She did the sewing. My father ran the cleaner shop. But I'm amazed by their hard work and thrift, because 4 years after we came out of the camp in 1950, they bought a 3-bedroom house in the Wilshire district where we were before. And that's the house we ultimately grew up in. I later discovered they paid $10,000 for that house. But nevertheless, to have saved up enough money to buy a house. And then he went into real estate. He had a good sense of timing. Other Japanese Americans were getting back on their feet and buying businesses and homes. And so he became quite successful in real estate. But the coming home was, for us, worse than being actually incarcerated. I remember my baby sister saying to my mother, "Mama, let's go back home." Because, you know, Skid Row was so terrible.